Hey guys, welcome to Tokyo Creative Talk. I'm your host Shizuka, and today we're interviewing our favorite YouTuber of all time.
Yes, thank you.
Chris Okano! Yay! How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
So for the people out there who don't know, Chris is the founder of this company that we're in right now called Tokyo Creative, which is a digital media agency, and it's it's kind of a new brand digital media agency.
Yeah.
So he's the founder of that and also the CEO of Odigo Japan, which you kind of went all over Japan traveling.
All 47 prefectures.
All 47, which is craziness. And you're also originally from your own channel, which is OkanoTV.
Yeah.
Which everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
Yay.
Kind of. I kind of consider myself like kind of semi-retired at the moment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people are really sad to hear that right now.
Not many. There's not many videos going out right now, so.
Oh no, that's because he's such a busy businessman now, so he doesn't have time for you guys. I'm just kidding. So you're kind of busy, so you're not doing your own channel that much anymore. But what is keeping you busy these days?
Running 2 companies, and we're also doing an ICO at the moment.
An ICO?
Yeah.
What is an ICO?
A cryptocurrency.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated stuff, so maybe go into the detail into that.
Wow, okay, so you're super busy right now.
Yeah.
This is pretty crazy. This is actually a really weird interview because I actually have known you for quite a long time now.
2 years?
I
Longer?
feel like it might have been
I feel like it's been like 10 years, but I think it's only been like 2, 3 years. Really?
3? Maybe 3 years, yeah. Because we first met
Tokyo
on
Extra.
Tokyo Extra, I know, which was like
Which
a
was-
YouTube/TV show.
I think it was like 2.5 years, 2.5 years ago.
But that's where we first met, but we knew of each other from YouTube before. I know that we like.
Oh, yeah, we
when
did.
When we met on Tokyo Extra, we were like, "Hey, I know we know each other from online."
I knew you as the Haffy from Max's channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I knew you because you also made a half Japanese video, and that was always on the suggested.
Oh, that's what Max
videos
kept
on
on
the
saying.
side.
Yeah. That was a really poorly produced video, but the views went really good.
Yeah,
actually.
you had a lot of views on that. So that was still kind of early on in your channel days. Actually, how many years ago did you start your channel?
I would say 5 years, maybe.
Okay, 5 years.
It kind of started like when I first came to Japan.
Right. Okay.
Because I wanted to kind of tell my parents back home, not tell, but show my parents back home what I was doing. Because I always got, they always were worried about me because I was the only weird child that went abroad. So they were very, very curious, why is Chris being a little strange boy? What's he doing over there? So that's the reason why. Yeah.
Really? So that was the kind of actually the start of your channel. It was mostly just for your family.
Yep. So it's more like an online diary, I like to say.
Right. Because I peeked at like your first video that you uploaded, and it was very cute. It was like this is my jam, and it was like a little subtitle.
What's really funny? That music that I was playing was picked by my mom.
Really?
That's why the music is really like old school. I don't even know the song actually. My mom was like, "You should use this song." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so that was the start, and then what made you want to start being more of a serious YouTuber?
Well, then it kind of turned into a couple channel, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then actually we got the views per video were kind of increasing, and then we kind of made friends with a bunch of other bigger YouTubers. Actually, the first YouTuber I reached out to was Rachel and June.
You reached out to them?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And they were very positive in their feedback. They were very responsive. Weirdly, because they had at that time they only had 50K subs. Okay. I think. It was kind of like the beginning of the whole YouTube community kind of growing and evolving. Obviously, there were still Micaela and Sharla, kind of the bigger, older channels. But at that point, I think the biggest channel must have been only 200K, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like the very, very start of this J-vlogging community, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, once we got connected with all these bigger YouTubers, then kind of things grew, and we made a collaboration video with Rachel, and it was just like, oh, this is really fun, and then we started making some AdSense revenue on the channel, and then I was kind of, oh, this could be something that maybe I could develop into something bigger. And luckily enough, Odigo kind of took it in another direction to travel related, and that was when I traveled to all 47 prefectures in 6 months and vlogged every day. Actually, I think half my videos are Odigo travel videos.
They might be. Yeah, because I remember you started that just not that long after we met on Tokyo Extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tokyo Extra was actually in between it somehow.
Really?
Or I had to stop it because I was going on this trip. I forget which one it was because Tokyo Extra was actually still going on during the beginning of Origo 47.
Yeah.
And I had to tell the director,
Yes,
Yuki-san.
Yeah, I remember.
I called him Snow because Yuki means snow. And yeah.
Clever.
I called it, hey, Snowman. But I had to tell him I couldn't do it anymore. So that's where they found the replacement. What's your name? The German YouTuber. Kathy Cat.
No, she was there before you.
Oh,
Silly.
Really?
Yeah, she was still there from the beginning.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Oh, then she took over my segment then, right?
Oh, maybe.
She took over the food corner because I couldn't do anymore.
Oh, I see.
That's what I mean.
That's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah,
she was on the show, but then she took over your food segment. Your food segment on that show was hilarious. Like you're just like, hey, what's up, man?
Not my decision, but yeah. You know what they said? You know what they said? They said, Chris, please act like Rocky. Oh, not Rocky, no. Sylvester Stallone, not Rocky. Rambo. You know Rambo?
Is that how he
like
acts?
The old.
Yeah.
No, he's like, because it's like a war kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he wears like a bandana, I think, and he always wore like jeans, I think, and that's where they thought the typical American, who's like I guess kind of wild or crazy, wears like jeans, a short T-shirt, and that's where they actually rolled up my shirt. That was not me. That was not me doing it. Plus a red, and they put a red bandana on my
Yeah, that was such a random outfit.
That was not me. That was not me.
Because that was my first like real time meeting you, so I was like, oh, wow.
Fun fact, because of how I guess energetic they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
I had to drink a Red Bull 2 before the shooting every time.
And a little bit
of other stuff. We'll keep that secret though. That's why maybe some of the beginning ones you see my face a little bit red.
Yeah,
it's a little bit tipsy.
I know it was. They had to put extra makeup on you because your face
that was
red.
That was different. Okay. I actually did get messed up before that shooting. That was really fun though.
Why did that happen again?
No. So during that live stream with you, when we were on the live stream together, the reason that I just had one beer, I swear to God, just one beer, and it was at 8 p.m. So I thought it'd be fine because like the shooting started at like 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Or like the rehearsal was like from 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought 2 hours would be good enough, and only one beer. But I stayed tipsy for like 3 hours.
You're you're so weak.
Yeah. I guess maybe someone drugged me. I don't know. That makes no sense. Just one beer. I stayed that kind of happy.
You know you turn pretty red.
Yeah.
It's not a huge surprise.
I'm a tomato.
So anyway, after Tokyo Extra and stuff, you just were starting the Origo 47 thing. I think it was like right near the end.
Yeah, somewhere in the beginning of the Origo 47.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then so you jetted off, and then you went and like vlogged in each prefecture.
Started in Hokkaido, ended in Okinawa, because I wanted to hit the Yuki Matsuri, the snow festivals, in February.
Right.
Many people were saying I should have flipped it, but I think the reason I put it that way was because I wanted to hit all of the cool festivals that Tohoku and Hokkaido have. I think we hit like 5 or 6 festivals in the winter.
Whoa! I didn't even know they had that many.
Yeah, well, we hit couple in Hokkaido, couple in Akita, in Iwate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's really, really cool ones. Like the coolest one was the Namahage Festival. Do you know about that?
I've heard about that.
Where basically the demons dress up and they try to scare the children.
Yeah.
Really weird concepts. Like you see kids just crying and running everywhere, and their parents are like pushing them to go meet your demon.
Oh my God.
And then me and Rachel in June. Well, that's when actually it was kind of crazy because actually it was raining, like a downpour.
Yeah.
And then June's camera like broke because of the rain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we're like, oh my God, what's going on? And like crazy, commotion, like all these babies are screaming and yelling.
Babies everywhere.
I was like, what's going on here? And then but it was actually a really interesting festival in the fact that I don't think you'll find that anywhere else where parents are pushing their child to get scared once in a year. Yeah. I think it has to do with like, it's kind of like get scared now and make sure you study hard, because if you don't study hard, you're going to become like a demon or something. I don't know I forgot the concept.
That's a weird concept.
Yeah, it's something like to put fear in the kids.
Right. It's probably to make them behave too.
Behave, yeah.
Yeah, it's
something
like they can use it as a threat when they're being bad. Be like, oh, the Namahage can get you if you don't go to bed now.
Something around those lines. Yeah. Japanese culture.
So I get it. I understand how that could kind of work. Maybe if you're a kid, you don't want the namahage to come get you, so you're a good little
But
kid.
honestly, it was pretty scary for me too. But I get scared kind of easily. But it was at night. I'm not a night guy. I'm a morning guy. I don't like dark places. I like sunlight, not the sunset.
Right.
You know, not sunlight, sunrise.
Sunrise. Yeah.
But like this was actually pretty scary. Like even for me, if I was there by myself, I would have been like, "Yo, this is like I'm." Yeah. But luckily, you know, June was there.
Have you ever been in a haunted house, like the Fuji-Q haunted house?
I went there.
How was it?
By myself.
Why would you go by yourself?
Long story short, during the Otakode 37, the person I went with, I don't want to say any names, but the person I went with chickened out.
Oh no!
At the very last minute.
Yeah.
But we were already entered, and she chickened out last minute.
Oh my god.
But so because I was alone, I was so scared. You know what I did? I sprinted. So they said the haunted house only supposed to take like it takes like 45 minutes to get through or something.
Yeah.
It took me like 15 because I sprinted the whole thing.
Oh my god.
And the funny thing is that many of the customers or the people going in, they thought that I was like a demon or I don't know, some kind of person that's supposed to be scaring people.
Right, because you just run past
exactly,
them.
And so like every time I run past them, like, wow! Yeah, so that was actually pretty funny. I was like acting as one of the haunted house staff.
That was part of your Odiko 47 trip.
Yeah.
You went to all 47 prefectures and you got a few other famous YouTubers to come along with you. I think we had Kim Dao, Abroad in Japan, Chris Broad,
Uwaga Pies, and there's also, who else?
Rachel and June.
Internationally me.
Yeah,
Angela.
You're right.
And
but only for a little bit, I think.
She was like one trip.
Okay, yeah.
Like 3-4 prefectures, I think.
Okay, cool. Oh, and I mean, you had me for like a tiny bit too.
Yeah, we had you for Saitama, Tokyo,
and Yokohama. Kanagawa, Saitama. Yeah,
you
Tokyo.
You and Millie, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, but how was that whole experience? Like, what was it like actually having to go to all of those prefectures?
I would never do it again. But the good thing is I have knowledge that no one else has, right? I'm actually, you know, I don't know any. I think I only know maybe a handful of people who've been to all 47 prefectures, and typically those people are not Japanese.
Right.
Which is weird. Every single Japanese person I talk to, I guess it's the same as an American, right? For me, I wouldn't go to all 50 states.
No.
But yeah, it's something I think a rare kind of knowledge that I can say I have. So it is kind of a cool thing under my belt. It's definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity. Actually, every single day was like, you know, a couple hours of sleep. But the way I kind of kept on motivating myself was that you will never get this opportunity ever again to do this for free. Not even free, but, you know, as your job, right?
Right.
So all expenses paid for, plus it's part of my job.
Right.
So the way I looked at it was, this is something you should cherish, actually, and really, you know, feel like this is an experience that you can tell your children and tell your friends. Or I think it was more fun because of the people that we went with.
Right.
We definitely formed, you know, friendships and experiences that would last forever. So that was really cool.
That's good.
Actually, I mean, if you want to lead away into that Tokyo Creative, that was the reason why Tokyo Creative was born.
Yes. Okay. So we can. Yeah. We can talk about Tokyo Creative. So after you did all of this Odigo traveling, what actually made you decide that you wanted to start a new company?
Well, actually, it was not after. It was during.
Oh, it was during. Okay.
I would say midway to the end of it, me, Rachel and June, Chris Broad, Kim. We were always actually. I always had this idea that I wanted to do this kind of Tokyo Creative concept.
Right.
And the reason why it happened during the middle of the end was because we were on these trips for so, you know, many hours together. I think we all realized what was lacking in the community. So, for example, Kim, beauty vlogger, Instagram girl, right? She always wanted pictures. She always asked us to take, Chris, can you take a picture of me next to these flowers? and of course we said, yeah, sure, we can take a picture next to these flowers for you, Kim.
Kim's gonna enjoy that impression.
Right? But there was always like a request that they had that made sense. Because they wanted to make the Instagram picture beautiful or good or engaging. So, you know, that was just one example, but there's always this kind of need, media support need. But not only that, then, you know, we always discussed about business together as well. You can tell there's a need for someone in the middle who actually has a business, some kind of business know-how. So if you look at any YouTuber, basically all of them have at least one of our video. So the point I'm trying to make is that typically they didn't study marketing, advertising, or business. Right. They kind of wanted to just try it out, and it worked out. but they don't have the know-how to actually improve or get the sponsorship deals that they should be receiving.
Right.
But obviously now the issue is, okay, the business plan, right? How can I get the employees, get the connections, get the funding, right? All of these little things that, an idea is just an idea. I always tell my employees that an idea means nothing without the action, because many people maybe thought about Facebook, for example.
Yeah.
But the person who actually took the action is the person who gets the credit, and it's easy as that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it kind of happened. We had the Japan Times article interview me about this kind of similar concept, and if you guys want to read that article, read it. Yeah. But
he has that article all over this.
Yeah. But I mean, in that interview with the Japan Times writer, I basically explained about how it got started, and it was basically just Taka, my chairman, kind of intrigued me with this media company idea. One day on a phone call, he just said, "Hey, I want to give you some money to use to benefit myself, to build my network."
Right.
So he said, "I'll give you like this amount of money per month. Use it for promotion and campaign use influencers because I want you to grow your network, speak." And I said, "Why?" It's like weird, right? It's like, I don't want to refuse the money, obviously, but it's kind of like, this kind of weird, man. You're going to just give me money a month and there's no ROI, there's no goal. It's just, I want you to build your network.
Yeah.
Wow, he really believes in me. Thank you. But, I just want to know why. And then he said, I want to make a media company one day under Red Horse Group.
Oh, okay.
And then at the same time, I already had my business plan set out, actually. Which is why I always tell people, always be prepared for the unexpected, because if I wasn't prepared for the opportunity, maybe Tokyo Creative never was born.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, I think the fact that I was prepared, always to 2 steps ahead of everybody else, that was the reason why Tokyo Creative was born.
It pays to be prepared. Yeah. And have your vision set out. That's awesome. So that was like the start of you're going to put your plan in action, get the company going.
Yep.
And then what was if you can tell us a little bit more about what Tokyo Creative actually does. So they provide support for different influencers to meet the needs that you just talked about, like, providing people to take photos. What are some other plans or goals for the company that you're thinking of? So
that's kind of like the individual approach, right? So to support the individual creators we have on board. But what is 100% lacking is more of a community, right? Because actually all of these creators, they are all targeting the same audience, right?
Yeah.
It's basically viewers interested in Japan.
Right.
That's kind of the umbrella audience that we're looking at. But now each YouTuber is segmented into their own little industry. So you might have Kim focusing on beauty. So her demographic might be young girls, which it is. You might have Chris Broad focusing on more of a story, documentary, kind of professional approach on travel, right? Right. So his demographic is more 30s on male side. So I wanted to kind of combine everyone's demographic and create Tokyo Creative, create offline events where we can combine, collaborate with other creators. Right. Because if Chris Broad collabs with Kim Down, they can kind of share audiences. Why? Because their audience doesn't really overlap.
Yeah.
But if they can promote each other, then it's beneficial for both of them. It's beneficial for us as well, because then we can sell them better, we can support them better, because we have more staff, right? We'll have more money.
Yeah.
So that's why the Tokyo Creative Play, and actually this channel, was kind of formed, because I wanted to actually bring everyone on one platform as well. So because typically if you just say, hey Kim, collab with Chris, right? So maybe they both don't want to, right? But if you say, hey, you just come on Tokyo Creative, you can just have some fun, you don't have to deal with the editing, because the editing is the most the tiring part.
It is.
Because I think everyone's okay, all these YouTubers are okay being in front of the camera and just having fun.
Yeah.
And so that's why Tokyo Creative Play and Talk, I think, are a really good way for them to express themselves in a way that maybe they feel their brand on their own channel doesn't represent.
Right. Okay.
So that's why Kim, for example, is more like, very beauty-esque. But when she comes on Tokyo Creative Play, she has more fun. You can tell she's more loose, and she kind of talks with Emma, because it's kind of off-brand for her.
Right.
But it's okay because it's Tokyo Creative brand now.
Exactly.
So I think it also gives them the freedom to, I guess, act like another person, right?
Yeah. Or show more of their freer side. Yeah. Personal free side.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're trying to form with the YouTube channels and kind of offline events that we'll be doing sometime soon.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, this was really like a platform to get people to come together. YouTubers can come have fun and collaborate freely. That's awesome. So you're gonna try and keep expanding this network, and it's already expanding quite a lot. Like you're getting more people on board. And also looking for new staff.
Yeah, looking for a lot more new staff. So you guys are interested, please let us know.
Yeah, check out the website. A little plug in there.
But yeah, I mean, we're not only... I mean, I think we kind of do a really good job for English-speaking influencers, right?
Yeah.
The next step now for us is to actually expand to Japanese Instagram models.
Okay, cool.
So we're actually expanding not as fast as I wanted to, but it also is a very difficult task to take just because Japanese Instagram models typically don't want to be part of an agency. So I think we need to kind of prove ourselves first, which is fine. I think the response from them is usually the same, but I think it makes sense.
Right.
So I do want to prove myself with the English market first, expanded to Japanese domestic market, and then maybe kind of globalize.
Yeah, but so actually I had a question from someone who did watch your channel. They wanted to know, so when you first came to Japan, you didn't really speak any Japanese, right?
I studied in college.
Okay.
So I knew the basics. I would say I was like an N3 level.
Okay. So you got
like
the basics.
low N3 level, I would say. N3 is the JLPT test.
Right.
So technically N3 means like you have conversational.
Yeah.
Japanese. I'll say I was low conversation. Yeah.
Okay, and then actually, so you came over to Japan, and first you were in ALT, actually. Right?
Eikaiwa.
Eikaiwa. So you're an English teacher.
Yeah.
But why did you want to come to Japan, and like, what was the motivation to come to Japan and like teach English?
Well, so I studied abroad in Kyoto for 1 year.
Okay.
Right, and then I loved it. It was the first time. It's kind of secret.
Okay.
Little do people know, I was very asocial before I came to Japan.
Oh, really?
I didn't like speaking to people. Actually, this is the first time I think I'm publicizing that. Yeah, but I didn't really talk to anyone. I was kind of I had friends, but like I didn't care about making new friends.
Right.
All of my friends were like in this circle that I was kind of forced in. Like for example, like make friends with people in my class.
Oh,
right.
Right.
Or on my soccer team, right? But I didn't actually go out of my way to make friends on the football team or the track team, right? Because I didn't really care.
Yeah.
And I came to Japan, and for some reason everything clicked. It was kind of like, oh, everything felt comfortable. So I was like, I made a lot of friends, and I was like, well, this is weird because I never really had this many friends.
Really?
Yeah. So like that was my year of study abroad was kind of like my, I guess, opening up year where Chris became Chris,
right?
Instead of closed Chris,
Oh, cool.
And so after that, I realized, maybe Japan is meant for me for some reason. And so after graduation, I applied for JET, actually, the JET program.
You did the JET program.
And I got the first interview, and then I got on the waiting list, and then I got rejected. And actually from then I was like, wow, my dream is getting crushed.
Oh no.
But then from then I was like, actually, luckily enough, I didn't go to JET. Why? Because they would have probably placed me in the countryside.
Yeah.
And actually everything started because I was placed in Kanto. In the Kanto area, in Yokohama first.
Right.
So yeah, I went to Eikaiwa in Tama Plaza on the Den-en-toshi line. So in Kanagawa Prefecture.
Yeah.
And I did that for a year. Then I did ALT for a year. But I hated it so much that this is when I was studying Japanese, because I have some kind of like weird motivation where if I'm stuck in a situation that I hate so much, it pushes me to do whatever I want to do so much more, as opposed to someone giving up saying, oh, the wall's too high. So for me, I just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I do not want to be an English teacher. The hours stink. The kids just hate me.
Oh no!
And like,
did they?
Well, did I tell you the story?
Not about the kids.
I didn't tell you one story where at the Eikaiwa where the kid literally he was a Kikoku Shijo, is that right? Yeah. He was a returning student.
Yeah.
He was like 7 years old, right? And he wrote on the blackboard. He goes, "Can you read this?" And he writes, "You are stupid."
In Japanese?
In English. He asked me, "Can you read this?" And like, right then I was like, this is pretty funny, but I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm getting schooled by a 7-year-old kid. Like, what am I doing here? So during this time, like, I actually passed the JLPT N2 test.
Okay.
So at this time, because I did my research, and actually there's not much information out there before saying that many Japanese companies need like a certificate for you to prove your Japanese levels at some point.
Right.
So I did all my research. I looked on LinkedIn. I looked at Gaijin Pot, and every single time I wanted to apply for a job or like a marketing role or advertising role, it always said N2 is preferred or something.
Right, at least N2 level.
And I didn't know what an N2 was. So at this time, I invested my money into a Japanese one-on-one school, a private school.
Oh, cool.
And that's where I basically was able to pass N2. And this school is not cheap. It was like sanjuman. It was like 300,000 yen, $3,000, you give or take. No, for a one time. It's a one-on-one class. like private lessons.
Okay, it was a one-on-one. Don't mind that. Wait, it was a one-on-one class, and you pay $3,000.
It was a one-on-one class for 50 classes.
50 classes.
For $3,000. So give or take, it's around 5,000 to 6,000 yen per class.
Okay.
But I mean, at that school, they really taught me all these tricks about how to pass the JLPT test.
Oh, cool.
And so that's the reason why I passed it. So that school's called Japanese Language School. If you guys want to.
Yeah, I think that's actually good.
It's in Shibuya, actually.
We is in W-E?
W-E, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it's really cool, convenient location. It's really oshare, fancy looking place.
Nice.
So, weirdly enough, my Japanese teacher, this is a really, really weird story. My Japanese teacher was the Japanese language teacher at my competitor high school in LA.
Really?
So in Los Angeles, my school, Harvard Westlake, their biggest competitor was a school called Brentwood. Mm-hmm. She was the Japanese language school of Brentwood.
No way.
And so right then I was like, I knew she was good because my high schools, and they're really good private high schools.
Right.
I knew she knows what she's doing then.
Right.
So that was the first conversation we had. She's like, oh, you're from LA? Like, yeah. She's like, I live in LA too. I was like, oh, where'd you teach? Oh, Brentwood. I'm like, what?
Wow. So you're like, okay, my money is going somewhere with this class.
Yeah.
Really? That's a really good tip though, because I think there's a lot of people who come to Japan and they're starting Japanese from like zero. And I think there's a lot of people who want to raise their level to a competitive level.
I mean, the way I always see it is like many people when they're young, they're focusing on saving money. Yeah. But for me, saving, you might save $500, maybe less, right? That's pennies. You multiply that by 12, you're saving $6,000.
Yeah.
If my math is correct, I think it is right. $6,000. I think that's correct. Yeah.
Shouldn't ask.
But $6,000 per year is nothing, in my opinion. So the way I saw it was I'd rather reinvest that 500 to something where I can improve my skill set to get a better job, so I can save next year $1,000 per month. Yeah. Right, and then that's kind of how my career has progressed, where basically every single time I get my salary or get my money, I reinvest that to somehow put that in somewhere else. Yeah, that's the reason why I was okay at age 23 or 22 investing $3,000 of my own money I made from the eikaiwa, not like parents' money or anything. Yeah. From my eikaiwa, and then invested that into Japanese language school.
Wow, that's good. That's a really good mindset to have. I mean, to think about your future growth and then invest into your future, basically. Yeah. That's great. I think that's really great advice for people watching. And so the second part of the question, like how you started in Japan, is supposed to go into...
We kind of like...
We did. We segued a little bit. But there is another part to it. Yeah. So as someone who kind of comes to Japan, and you started out with kind of a lower level of Japanese, but you worked your way. Yeah. And then, do you have any tips for people who are thinking of maybe starting a company in Japan? Like, first of all, would be to get your Japanese level up, I assume. But is there some other advice that you would have for people?
I wouldn't suggest it.
You wouldn't suggest starting a company in Japan?
I would say less. It's a small percentage of people who actually have the mindset to actually be successful in that. I mean, I'm responsible for all the employees under me, right? Right. You don't understand the difference between becoming, I'm a manager, becoming, I'm the CEO. You don't understand that responsibility until you're actually in that position. And people who are in that position typically don't want that responsibility. So the way I see it is, unless you are really passionate and determined about it and you're willing to take a risk, because it is a risk. Yeah. Any startup company is a risk. You never know how the market might change. And the reason why I was okay doing it was because we have a strong backing with Red Horse Group. So that was like if I didn't have that backing, I would not have started it, because I would not feel comfortable hiring the people I hired without that backing. Right. So I think the backing is especially because I'm a foreigner in Japan, right? I think it's double risky, right? Because I can't, if I lose all my money, then what, right? I'm an American citizen. Maybe I don't have enough money to go back to America, or maybe I have just barely enough to go back, right? This is not really my home. Right. America's more my home. I feel more comfortable in America, right? So to answer that question, not to blow any bubbles, but I would recommend I wouldn't suggest it. Yeah.
Really? Like, it's just this, there's struggles here that just wouldn't be back home, maybe in North America.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is just the stress, though, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, their responsibility, right? Right. The responsibility of it is something no one could imagine. I mean, I think it's similar to I always kind of compare it to a parent having a baby, but imagine having 20 babies. Like,
Okay.
because I mean that's what it is, right? I have like 20 little babies.
Yeah,
right?
you have to take care
across
of.
Otago and Tokyo Creative. I have like
Right.
20 little babies. We're 25.
Right.
Right, and actually
you're
technically,
responsible.
exactly, right. So imagine that, and I'm one. I don't have a wife, right?
Yeah.
I don't, you know. I mean, like not literally, but I meant like.
In other
you know
words,
what I mean?
In other words, Chris is a really stressed out parent.
Yes, yes.
Single father.
Yes. And that's the reason why I wouldn't suggest it.
I see. But I mean, that is good advice. But if you were to try to start this kind of endeavor, probably having some Japanese background is useful.
Well, you need to know how the Japanese people think.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, you need to have some grasp of Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to know. And do you have any like words of advice for budding YouTubers out there? Like just a little message for people?
Do something unique.
Oh.
Don't, you know, there's been a lot of channels that actually have wanted to join Tokyo Creative, and we reject it just because they're a dime a dozen. They are the exact same channel. I mean, all they're doing is just copying someone else.
Right.
And for some reason, they think their story is better than someone else's story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to do something more unique than that. So if you want to make a vlog series about your student life, well, that is not unique, but there's not many channels out there that are based on just student life, for example.
Right.
There's so much content now that is so saturated that you're not going to actually get your content out.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, you might get lucked out. You might get a job that's very unique, or you might not. But if you don't, you know, you need to find something unique outside of your job. Right. So maybe, like, actually, we just onboarded a guy named Tokyo Lens, Norm. Mm-hmm. Norm does his unique aspect. He's a shamisen player. Right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that's something that no other foreigners on YouTube do.
Yeah.
So he's got his unique aspect. So just find your unique aspect, and it could be something really cool.
That's so true. I think everyone has a little something they can offer that's unique and different from others. So you have to figure out what that is and just...
And if you don't have something unique, honestly, then you should probably think about something unique, because then your life is not probably that interesting. Because if you're just doing the same old things that everyone else is doing, you know, try something new, right? Try something different. I think that's going to open up your eyes and doors to many other opportunities and possibilities.
Very true.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great message. And that's probably a good place for us to wrap up.
Sure.
Because we're going to run out of time. But also, I just wanted to ask you quickly, who is your favorite Cyber Japan dancer?
It came out. Watanabe Kanae.
Is that actually her name?
Yes. Kanae-san.
Kanae.
Kanae. Kanae, if you're watching this video, I'm available. No.
She wouldn't hit you up.
Oh, you never know. Let's put that bet on. Oh,
We'll
yes.
see. All right. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us, you guys. I hope you enjoyed our little interview with my friend and buddy, little Chris Okano from OkanoTV. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you
own
for
office.
Yeah, thank you for true. Huh? Thank you for coming on this rainy day.
My pleasure. Anyway, my name is Shizuka Anderson, and yeah, let us know who else you want us to interview in another video. Have a great day. Bye.